API.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell more about that? How API get called using Axios or
Well, we can use Axios
what
dot.
is lifecycle?
What is lifecycle?
Lifecycle of API calling. How API gets called using Axios?
Well, to get the data from server, we use Axios dot get, and to the post to add the data to the server, we use Axios dot post put, and to delete the data from the server, we use Axios dot delete.
Okay, have you used async await
Yes, sir.
method?
Yes, yes.
What is that?
Well, async is a function defined with keywords. Async is a function defined with the keyword async, which then let you use await inside that function to perform uh, promise-based asynchronous activity in a cleaner way, avoiding promise chain. We can use in async we can use try and catch method to get the data, and if there is an error, we can use in the catch error to perform the asynchronous activity, promise-based asynchronous activity in cleaner way, avoiding promise chain. We use async function.
Okay, what is the difference in promises and async await?
Well, both return promise. Async also return promise, and promise also return promise. In promise take two callback functions, resolve and response. In this to resolve, we use then. To catch error, we use dot catch. In async, we use try and catch.
Okay, any other difference?
Promise.
When promises get called, when async await is get called, any idea? How many times it get called?
Promises. How many times? No, sir.
Okay, no issue. Do you know lazy loading?
Sorry, sir.
Lazy loading.
Well, if we have a component which takes a long time to avoid that, I haven't used lazy loading, but if we have component which take a lot of time to render, we use lazy loading. I think.
Okay. What type of storage you have used in this application to store the data?
To manage the state, we are to store the to manage the state or to store the data, we use MongoDB. To manage the state, we are using Redux.
Okay, Redux state you have used.
Yes.
How data gets stored into the Redux? If I am passing one object to the Redux,
Okay.
how it gets stored into the Redux? And I want latest state back after the storing data to the Redux state. How can I get that?
Well, to get the state from Redux, we use selector, and to modify the state, we reducer function, which takes previous state and the action. Based on the action, the function is called and the state is changed, and we get updated state value.
Okay. Have you used Redux DevTools like?
Yeah, we Redux dev tool like to track the actions, right? to track the objects, what are the actions we have emitted.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
Okay. Are you aware about arrow function?
Yes. Uh,
Can you explain what are they and how it gets called and how it is different from normal function?
well, in
And,
fact,
and
first of all, there is a syntax difference, and in arrow function, argument binding is not there in arrow function, and also this binding is not there in arrow function. To get the arguments, we used rest parameter in arrow function, whereas in the normal function we used argument object, and arrow function can be stored in a both can be stored in a variable. Well, there is mainly two difference, like this binding is not in arrow function and argument binding is not in arrow function.
okay, okay. What are the types in Java?
What are the types? Data
Okay,
types.
data type.
Okay, there are two data types, like primitive and non-primitive. In primitive data types, there are number, big integer, string, null, undefined, boolean, and in the non-primitive comes like object data type.
Okay, if I define one variable, let a, let a,
Mhm.
what will be the value of what will be initial value of that if I define nothing to the variable?
Let a, and we're just using
Okay,
console log a, right? Then what will be the
a.
output?
What will be the value of that variable?
Well, let a, the undefined will be the value.
Uh, do you know in CSS there is a property called index?
Yes, yes.
So
Well,
what is it?
if we have uh, if we have elements which are overlapping on each other, then if we
Okay,
want a element to the on the upper side, we can use z index to that. Greater the z index value, it will be the upper end. It will on top of the element. To basically we use for overlying elements.
okay. Can we use absolute position to overcome Z index?
Absolute.
Position as a absolute
Yes, yes. Position of the absolute.
or fixed?
Sorry, sir, I don't know about that.
Okay. Do you know positions in CSS?
Yes, we have like position like static, fixed, relative,
Okay.
absolute, or also
Okay.
inherent.
By default, which position is set to the
Static,
uh, component?
static.
Okay. How it is different from relative?
So, relative, we basically use relative to like for position absolute to adjust our element according to its parent div. We use we assign its child element as a position absolute, and to its parent we assign position relative.
Okay. Can I use top property, top, bottom, left, right inside the position static or Z index as a 1000? Can I use in static?
In static, no sir, in static we can't use top zero. That's it.
Okay. Can I use it with relative, absolute, fixed position or Some else position.
We can use with position absolute.
And with relative?
I don't think we can, sir.
Okay, you can take later on.
Okay, I will.
Do you work on Phoenix?
Yes, sir. It's a Flexbox property which we use to align the elements in one dimension, like either in row or in column. By default, it's a row.
Okay. If I want to move my div to end of the string,
Okay.
which property can be?
If you want a div to end of the screen.
And I am using as a row operation, place layout as a row.
Okay.
How can I move that div to the end of the string?
End of the string will display flex.
Bottom 0, right 0. That's all.
Okay, bottom 0 and right 0. Okay, on the left side. Display flex.
That means right corner.
Yes, on the right corner. Display flex, then we can say justify content. Well, if there are two div, we can do that. It's a single div, single child.
Yeah, you can take multiple, one div inside another div.
Okay.
Or you can assume that there is one div and there is one text inside that div, and you want to move that text to the bottom right of the screen.
Okay. Okay, flex direction. Display flex.
Or leave the flex. Use any another property to move that text to the right bottom of the column.
Well, I can use position absolute. I can give position absolute to that child, and to the parent I will give position relative. Then in the child position absolute, there is a top left 0 and bottom 0.
Left 0, bottom 0 means it will be in
on the corner. Right?
Left, bottom left. I want it is in bottom right.
Okay, then right 0 and bottom 0.
Right 0, bottom 0. Okay. I want to move the div to the center of the screen. How can I do that?
Well, yeah, top 50% and left 50% using a position absolute. And using display flex, we can use justify content, justify content center, which center our element horizontally, and align item center, which center our element vertically.
Okay. Okay. Do you know hooks in React?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What are they?
Well, hooks are introduced in React 16.8 version. Before that, functional components are stateless component. Uh, we cannot use state in functional component. They are used as a dummy component. After introduction, we can use state by using use state method. and we can handle side effect, or we can say life cycle methods using use effect and use memo. And we have also a use context to create the central state in our application, and there is a use callback to memorize the uh, function. Well, use state, use effect, uh, use reducer, we have use effect, use memo, use context, use callback. These are the hooks.
Do you know there is one hook also? Use memo.
Use, yes sir. To
Use
stop,
memo also there.
yes, use memo. To stop re-rendering of, to stop re-rendering, we use memo.
Okay, and what is use of memo? Only memo.
Only memo. We wrap memo, right? Memo, use memo
Yes.
give us a function where we memo. We just wrap our component, we send our component to that function use memo
Mm-hmm.
to stop re-rendering. To, we can say like to make it should component update as, to use as should component update as a lifecycle in functional component.
Are you aware about life cycle method of React?
Yes, each component in React goes through three phases: mounting, updating, and unmounting. These three phases complete a life cycle. And in mounting, we have methods like component did mount, grab, uh, get drive state from the props, get drive state from the props. I haven't used class component. Mostly I used functional component. And in update, we have component should update, component did update, and last is unmount, component unmount.
Okay.
Component did unmount. Last.
Hmm. Do you know prop description?
Yes,
Prop
props.
description. Do you know?
Well, props is a way of passing data from parents to its child. To,
Hmm.
in child component, we can like in object, we can do structure props in an object.
Okay. Have you defined your routes in your application?
Using React Router 6. It's
Okay. Have
a
you defined lazy loading in that?
no sir.
Okay. Can I pass some URL parameter to the route? How can I get that back using URL parameter?
Pass the URL parameter.
Hmm.
The route.
I have passed some username as a Vishal, username as a cookie to the URL in URL parent. I want to get it back on that route component.
No, sir, I don't know.
There is a method called use param from React router. There we can
Okay.
fetch the data
Okay.
from the React router, whatever the route we have defined, and what value we have sent to the URL param.
Okay, use params.
Okay, that's all from my side. Any other questions you can ask?
Oh, no, sir, I'm good.